Sam Sabacharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Prabhupada Paramhamsa Prabhupada Asatara Sadushi Shriman His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridasa Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rup Sanatan Bhadraganath Shri Jiv Gopala Das Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Brahmajako Shri Krishna Chaitanya Pranityananda Shad Vaiti Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Mathuradam Ki Jai. Vrindavandam Ki Jai. Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Mudik Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath-puri Dham Ki Jai. Ayodhya Ki Jai, ISKCON Ljubljana Ki Jai, Gangamai Ki Jai, Junmai Ki Jai, Srimad Bhakti-devi Ki Jai, Srimad Tulsi-devi Ki Jai, Sri Panchatattva Ki Jai, Sri Gaur-Nitai Ki Jai, Gaur-Pramanande, Gaur Slavas of Rani Bhakti, Slavas of Rani Bhakti, Slavas of Rani Bhakti, Slavas Shri Guru Shri Rani. His Divine Grace, bhakti-Joga, Prabhupada, Gaur Premanande, Slava Zabrani Bhakti, Slava Shri Guru, Shri Gurangi. Whoever makes the garland, I guess, who makes the garlands here? Everyone makes the garlands. Because the idea is to have these so that it's easier on the neck, but these are all very pointed and sharp. And not only that, there's not only one of them, there's 6 of them piercing into the neck. So I feel like we're making a sacrifice. Oma Gyana Tivarandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chaksur Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Adati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Sha Shri Rupam Sagrudatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadhutam Vrajana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakhans Vitam Sha Hey Krishna Karna Sindho Dinabandho Dagapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavadeshwari Vrishabhanu Sutadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakapa Trivyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyavacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Pranityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 srimad-bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 5, meeting of Nana Maharaj and Vasudeva, text 14. Gopa parasparam rishta,
Gopa parasparam rishta,
Dadi shira gritam bhupi bi, Asi chanto vilampanto, Navinitascha Chikshipu, Gopa parasparam rishta, Dadi shira gritam bhupi, Asin chanto vilampanto, Navanitascha Chikshipu. Ladies. Gopa, the cowherd men, parasparam, on one another, Rishta, being so pleased, Dadi, with curd, Shira, with condensed milk, Rita, Ambubi, with water mixed with butter, Asi Chantaha, sprinkling, Ilampanta, smearing, Navanitahai, Chai Cha, and with butter, Shipu, they threw on one another. Translation and purport by Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti-Radha Swami to the Prabhupada. In gladness, the cowherd men enjoyed the great festival by splashing one another's bodies with a mixture of curd, condensed milk, butter, and water. They threw butter on one another and smeared it on one another's bodies. Purport. From this statement we can understand that 5,000 years ago, not only was there enough milk, butter and curd to eat, drink and cook, but when there was a festival, it would be thrown about without restriction. There was no limit to how extensively milk, butter, curd, and other such products were used in human society. Everyone had an ample stock of milk, and by using it, many varied milk preparations. By using it in many varied milk preparations, people would keep good health in natural ways, and thus enjoy life in Krishna consciousness. So the translation again: in gladness, the cowherd men enjoyed the great festival by splashing one another's bodies with a mixture of curd, condensed milk, butter and water. They threw butter on one another and smeared it on one another's bodies. Namo Vishnu Hare Krishna Prasthaya Srimad Bhakti-Yoga Swami Tanamane Namaste Sarasatundeve Gauravani Pacharane Nirdishesha Shnivadi Paschadhyade Sattva. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Urdvam Alam Adakshakam Ashvidham Brahma Abhidam Chidam Siyasya Paranani Yasvam Veda Savedavit. That there is a banyan tree which has its roots upward and its branches are down, and leaves are the Vedic hymns. That one who knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas. In other words, this world is a reflection of the actual world. But this world can become like the actual world if it's utilized properly. And even 5,000 years ago, which is relatively not such a long period of time, there was actually something which was as close to the spiritual civilization as can be on this planet Earth. And the remnants of that is something in India. Something like that. Not in Delhi though, but in other parts of India. Maybe a little bit in Delhi. There's still because of association. But the cow is the basis of spiritual civilization. Krishna herds cows eternally, so he must know what he's doing. It's not that he came in Kali Yuga and found out there's a better way of living. Eternally Krishna herds cows, and eternally his favorite food is what? Pizza?
Butter and milk.
What's that?
Butter and milk.
Butter, especially. He steals butter, he must like it. Mutton, sure. So butter, milk, ghee, all these things, they're the healthiest food. And now they're condemned as the unhealthiest food. But actually, people are condemned, and therefore they can't. They're not qualified to take milk products. But milk is the only food which is given out of love. When you pick an apple from a tree, the tree is not in ecstasy. Nor does the tree, the big tree, give apples to the little trees out of love. But the cow gives milk out of love to its calf. Therefore, consciousness of love is infused within the milk. It's not that what we eat is just gross energy. Everything we do and everything we eat, everything we experience is infused with consciousness. Because the material world doesn't move without consciousness. It moves by consciousness. Now, our consciousness can be absorbed in any mode of material nature, and it also can be absorbed in transcendence. The lower the mode of material nature, the less consciousness is really developed. And the higher the mode of material nature, including in transcendence, the higher the consciousness is developed, and the more the original consciousness, which is bliss, knowledge, and eternality, is manifested. So we want to find out what the actual manifestation of bliss, knowledge, and eternality is. This is what we just read. That's what they do in transcendence. They don't sit around and look at each other and talk about how transcendent they are. When they have a festival, there's not rock music and breakdance. They're throwing butter, ghee, yogurt, curd on each other, smearing it, because actually when you put something on your body, the body actually eats it. The biggest sense in the body is the skin. and the skin is actually always eating. It's breathing, the skin actually breathes, and it actually eats. Therefore, when they've done it, sometimes people put on these costumes and they paint their whole body, the entire body, with some kind of paint. But if the paint is not the right paint, it doesn't allow the body to breathe, and the person suffocates to death, because he has to breathe through the skin also. Similarly, anything we put on the skin is actually, to one degree or another, absorbed, depending upon the quality of the skin and what we put on it. And if we put butter and ghee on the skin, then the body actually absorbs it, it eats it. And that was enough cosmetics for the residents of Vrindavan. That would make their bodies healthy and strong. As a matter of fact, when a child is born in the Vedic culture, then the baby is always massaged with ghee. You massage with ghee at all? Do you remember that?
What's that?
Do you remember being massaged with ghee?
I mean, my mother told me that's what we do.
Yeah.
The babies do.
So then the baby winds up with a very good immune system, because the most digestible food is milk. Milk is the one food that when you drink it, within a day, it turns into ojas. Ojas is the basis of the immune system. It's the vitality. Just like it says here, the word is rishta, being pleased. No one can be pleased if they're always hungry, physically and mentally. And because people are devoid of even physically ojas, ojas is what keeps tejas and vayu, vata, not vata, but prana within the body. Ojas is like kapha, it's a container, and it maintains the heat within our body, the heat, which means our power of perception, because without fire we can't perceive anything. Just like our eyes. We only see because we digest light. Did you ever think of that? That you're digesting light through the eyes? Kunmadava, did you ever think you were eating when you looked at things?
I think I heard this before from you.
Oh, okay. Well, it's a reminder. Everything we see, we're eating. Now, when we see something we don't like it, that's called indigestion. When we see something horrible, then we can't really digest it, unless you're a dinosaur or something, which we're not. So therefore, we look at things, generally they should be very pleasing. Nowadays, people play these video games. I don't play video games, but I heard people play video games, and I've seen advertisements for them. And they're all about dragons. I don't know if they're all about, but they're usually someone has a gun or something. Usually a horrible gun, like a machine gun or blowtorch. And he spends the whole day annihilating other people. So if you're watching that all day, what are you eating through your eyes? What are you digesting? And then people can't understand why people's minds are disturbed. Because how can you digest spending the whole day in a horrible situation, in a disgusting, horrible situation? Usually, previously they used to have games, you know, I don't know, they didn't have video games because they didn't have computers, but you know, people go out with a toy gun, a wooden gun, and go bang, bang, bang. Even in the early television programs. I still remember them, but they're not so bad. They're not so good either, but they had like programs like Zorro. Do you ever hear Zorro?
Yes.
Anyhow, Zorro was a masked man in Spain somewhere, and I think he was fighting for the good side. I don't remember. There was no real good side. Anyhow, if he ever killed someone, he just touch his sword, the person would fall down dead. There's no blood, there's no screaming, there's nothing. It was just you'd wonder if anyone actually got hurt or not. But it was real enough. But nowadays, if the video games, or even in the, it's horrible. And that's what people are digesting, trying to digest, but they can't digest it because it's too hard. Who would want to digest such an image in the body? And therefore, people are suffering from mental indigestion. And what's the major cause for disease, according to Prabhupada? According to the Vedas, what is the major source of disease? Does anyone know? Anyone ever get sick here? Well, we got a healthy people, so. What is the major source of disease?
Indigestion.
What's that?
Indigestion.
What kind of indigestion? Yeah, it's mental. Consciousness, the mental indigestion. It's called pragya aparad. Because if we don't digest mentally, if our intelligence is not strong enough to digest what we're thinking about, then our consciousness becomes bewildered, becomes distorted. And then we won't know what to do and what not to do. So we'll do the wrong things. We'll eat too much or we'll eat too little, because we won't know. We won't have been aware if we're eating too much or too little. It's like sometimes we have a big feast and devotees are eating. They're so much anxious for the feast that they're not even aware of how much they're eating. They're only aware of after the feast. And then they're lamenting, oh, why did I eat so much? As Prabhupada was told, Shruti Kirti Prabhu, before he got married, because Prabhupada told Shruti Kirti Prabhu, don't go in the kitchen and cook for me. But he went in anyhow one day, and then that was the end of his brahmachari life. So he was married, and so he went to Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, I can't travel you with anymore. Because now I'm married and I have a child. So Prabhupada said, well, it's just like before the feast, you're lamenting, I can't wait for the feast, I'm so hungry. And then during the feast, after the feast, you lament, oh, I ate too much, now I'm sick. If there only wasn't a feast, I would be all right. So without intelligence, without higher consciousness, then we're going to eat too much, and that's always the basis of all the problems we have. Eating too much or eating too little, not chewing our food, not eating it with the proper consciousness. Imagine when you see the food and you go, ah. What is that doing to our body? Because we're not tigers. We don't have the body of a tiger, but our consciousness is like that of a tiger. Then how does that affect our body? Or if we look at the food and we go, oh, that's horrible. Then that consciousness just pervades our digestion, so the body turns off. Oh my God, he's going to commit suicide and eat that. So the body kind of like turns off, and then we eat it anyhow, and the body goes, what are you doing to us? Don't you love me? So consciousness is very important. And we find out in the spiritual world, everyone is joyful. And everything there is, well, even in this world where Krishna was there, in the most part, everything was very beautiful in Vrindavan. There were flowers and trees and fresh air, and everyone loved Krishna, and everyone loved each other. There was complete cooperation. And just once in a while, some demon would come. Agasura, Putana, whoever. But that would actually increase everyone's love for Krishna, because everyone didn't care about what happened to them, they cared about what happened to Krishna. So as soon as some demon would come, then everyone's mind would be focused on Krishna even more, trying to protect him. When there's a forest fire, then all the cowherd boys surrounded Krishna because they didn't want Krishna to get hurt. Of course, Krishna swallowed the forest fire, so no one got hurt. But because everyone's in love with Krishna, therefore, even the demons came, focus their mind upon Krishna. When Krishna was in the coils of Kali, a serpent, then Mother Jasoda, Nanda Maharaj, the cowherd men, they only thought about Krishna, his beautiful smile, his loving, affectionate pastimes with him, his loving relationships. So they focused their minds upon Krishna completely. Therefore, these 10th canto is not, as people will sometimes think, that the important part of the 10th canto is the Rasa Lila or something like that. Actually, this is culture. This is the spiritual culture being revealed to us. And although, obviously, we don't have the ability, even if we wanted to, live in such an environment, we don't have even the bodily strength to do it, nor the mental focus to be able to live in such a simple way, focusing on Krishna. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us the Sankirtan movement, where we can utilize our present existence and engage in the Sankirtan movement and simply try to infuse within everyone Krishna consciousness. And that consciousness of Krishna will automatically manifest itself in the course of time as a much more civilized society, where people will not be after the iPhone and the computer or whatever else, or the Samsonite, whatever it is. Samson, is that the other one? Samson? So they won't be after, because they'll be after Krishna. And even if they have an iPhone or whatever, they'll have Krishna as on the screen. They'll be utilizing Krishna's service. Then this world that we're living in, which is actually quite disturbing, but we're so disturbed we don't realize it. Just like in this building, which is a temple, even these lights, because we've been so much dulled by the illusory energy, by our materialistic society, we don't really realize what effects these things have on us. How the whole building, if we were actually aware, is vibrating with electricity and just disturbing our consciousness. But that's all right. We can't avoid it. And we're kind of used to it, so we don't even notice it. We're like frogs, a boiling frog. You know how you cook a frog? Do you know how you cook a frog?
Yes.
¿Sabes cómo cocinar una tortuga?
I shouldn't cook a tortuga.
No, tortuga. Is it tortuga? Lartuga. Latica. Maybe I'm mixing languages. Sapo. Do you know how to cook a frog? Have you ever cooked a frog?
Me?
Yes.
No cool, but I try to eat, yes.
Oh, you don't know. You didn't know how to cook it nicely. So, here's our expert at cooking frogs. Mukunda.
Slowly.
What's that?
Slowly.
How do you cook it? You put the frog in the pan with some water,
Yes.
and you just make the water a little warm so the frog feels good. And then he gets used to it. You know, if you go into hot water, after a while you get used to it. You don't even know it's hot. So they get used to it, and then you turn up the water a little bit more, and then the frog feels some more heat, and it feels good. So you gradually turn up the heat, and the frog gets adjusted until the water is boiling, and the frog is in ecstasy, being boiled alive. So that's modern civilization. It's boiling everyone alive. But they're getting used to it. It feels good. All these new technological inventions. And nowadays, you see young people, they don't even look at each other. They see each other on a screen. They don't even... You see people, they're at the dinner table and they're texting each other. They've become so much custom. It's just they've become accustomed to it. Human relationships, I've forgotten. It's my relationship with my phone. That's my relationship. It manifests everything. Instead of coming from Krishna, it comes through the iPhone, channel through the iPhone or the PC, whatever it is. So in Krishna consciousness, we just put Krishna there, and then the illusory consciousness will gradually dissipate. Because all these technological things are just bringing us away from reality. But if we put Krishna in the technology, then it brings us back to reality again. So it's not bad if it's used in Krishna service, and it's more than bad if it's not. Just like we're using this building for Krishna service, although it may be vibrating, but ultimately if we keep on chanting Krishna, the building will be vibrating Hare Krishna too. Even the electricity will be in sync with the Hare Krishna mantra. So therefore it says that in the Krishna book that the whole world is full of Krishna singing. But those who are Maya, they don't understand that. Everyone is actually dancing with Krishna, but those who are dancing with Krishna, they're dancing in a rasa dance. Those who are serving Krishna, they're dancing the rasa dance, and those who are not dancing with Krishna, they're dancing with Krishna's Maya. So Krishna is all attractive, is compared in the Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada's purport. Krishna is like a diamond, and the living entities are like gold. So a diamond looks very good when it's set in gold. The diamond is glorified and the gold is glorified. So simply by devotional service, we glitter like gold, and Krishna is in the center. Then everything becomes very nice. And here, at least we should appreciate the value of the cow, the value of the milk it's giving. At least, even if we can't drink it for one reason or another, we should at least appreciate it. Appreciate the simple life full of Krishna consciousness, and therefore joyful life. No worries. People are not worried there about their mortgage because there's no bank. They're not worried about getting run over by a car because there's no cars. Maybe the bullock's car moving around 2 kilometers an hour, you have to avoid it, but most people avoid it very easily. Because Krishna is there to protect, and therefore Krishna left Vrindavan in order to protect the residents of Vrindavan, so he went to Mathura in order to tackle the people who would try to get to Vrindavan, the demons who would try to attack Vrindavan. Krishna stayed there in Mathura and protected them from Kalyavana, from Jarasandha. He protected them. So the residents of Vrindavan were protected by Krishna always. During his childhood, when he grew up a little bit more, Krishna always protected them. He only came back after all the demons were killed. Therefore Krishna was the center, the cows were there, the flowers were there, the river Jamuna, it was pure nectar. Govardhan Hill was there, a great devotee of Krishna. Its caves would be heated, would provide heat for the pastimes of Krishna. If you went to the cave, then the cave would be heated in the winter, and it would be air conditioned in the summer. Such a nice devotee. Its rocks were warm in the winter and cool in the summer. So, such a nice place. And therefore the best place to develop Krishna consciousness. And here in the temple, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come with his associates. And if we have the right consciousness, then everything here will become blissful, like Vrindavan. I don't know if we're going to have festivals where we'll throw butter and ghee and oil and such things on each other. But maybe our digestion will be good enough we can eat some milk products and appreciate the value of the cow and how it gave that milk product ultimately to Krishna out of love. It was offered to Krishna out of love. And therefore one who eats such products will also develop more easily loving feelings, be able to see things properly. So I'll stop there. Thank you. Any questions or comments?
Thank you, Maharaj. What is prana? How is prana? How is possible that some people eat only prana?
Prana. Well, I don't. Do you know anyone who eats only prana?
I heard just
How big a plate of prana do they eat? How big is the plate of prana that they eat? Well, prana is energy. In general, it's energy. Pure energy. It's energy that enlivens us, that inspires us, that energizes us. So there are varieties of prana, just like there's a variety of energy. But ultimately, it's the essence of vata, essence of movement. So you can understand how much prana is in anything by how much it easily moves. The energy that moves everything is ultimately depending upon, correctly or efficiently, is prana. When prana is not very efficient, well, if prana is not present, then we get something called vata. And vata may not be so efficient. There are major kinds of vata. There's a vata that circulates in the air, in the body, all around the body. There's vata that apana and prana. Prana is another subset of prana, which circulates in our brain. The other prana, apana, it eliminates. So according to the quality of that air of the body, we have efficient, we can think clearly, every parts of our body, circulation is proper, our elimination is proper. So that's all caused by the energetic energy called prana. And therefore, as I said, what holds prana in the body is called ojas, because prana can easily leave the body by excessive activity, especially by anxiety. Prana is lost from the body. And also by too much desire for sense gratification also dissipates prana. And especially sex life is what dissipates prana the most. Ojas and tejas. Actually, ojas, the essence of ojas is the essence of sexual energy in the body, the sexual fluids. And ojas is what keeps prana and tejas in the body. So when ojas is dissipated by or by just anxiety or illicit sex or whatever, or sex life, then prana and tejas are lost. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, prana and tejas are lost. And therefore the body gets colder due to loss of the fire energy. It can become stiffer because of the loss of ojas and prana. Therefore we can't move as well, we can't think as well, we can't eliminate as well, we can't do anything as well. That's why people, when the child is young, because most children are young, at young age, we have all the prana and ojas and tejas that we were born with. And therefore, generally speaking, that's our healthiest time of our life. We can move best, the body functions best. But in terms of wearing and tearing, if we don't replenish the energies of the body, then they get worn out. Especially when ojas gets worn out by anxiety in modern society, burns away. Then the result is people get stiff, arthritis, they get all these diseases. Because they can't eliminate, they can't digest, they don't have any energy proper energy. So ojas, prana, and tejas, they're the subtle energies, but they're the most powerful energies in the body. And when we have them, when we feel strong and healthy and confident. When we lose them, we feel weak and despondent and depressed and everything else. Does that make sense? Anything else? Okay. Hvala, Grandaraj srimad-bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande.
Prahladananda Swami Maharaj ki jai.
Would you like a garage? Yeah, I noticed one day I had this kind of message, but then I realized. Well, they're generally speaking, if you put a ribbon instead of ribbons of salt, these things are even harder than the flower. It's an attempt to do something, good voice.
Ja sem kako pa to vitalnost nadomestiš? Ne, to še ni pomembno. Ti zgubljaš opravljeno z izvajati z oksidatom in se generiraš v njeno. Ne si v centru tam ni še veliko, jaz sem pa. Jaz sem bhakti.
Simon, živ. A si šel? Bil bi najsvečen dan. Zato, kaj sem mislil, če bi ti imel dva, se, ker mislim, da zdaj še bi do konca tedna tukaj moj. Če bi ne, sem 81, tiste dva, kar nisem še moram naučiti, da tukaj do konca tedna. No, ja. Dobro, dvoje pa jaz več, ne, jaz moralno da pa. Čilo naročiš, da pride do
Tur
kor?
pa s cilim šlapom.
Čilo naročiš, da pride do kor, ne? Čilo da kor pride, da.
z nami. Če greš v soboto z nami. Ja, kako gremo?
Da greš ti dol?
Ja, prevoz bo v Ljubljani. Zaenkrat Sašo pa jaz 30.
Jaz imam...
Ti že prej greš?
Jaz imam tukaj na Majakljani.
Pa zdaj smo nazaj pa že mislim.
Ja, kdaj?
Ja, razen če prej pa platan, boš še pa del gre za eno leto, pa ravno boš šel, no, na daljšem. Še zadnjič.
Kaj je bil tukaj? Ja, bom probujeti, ja.
Nisem,
Če bom
svobodno, nisem, vsak se dobi,
Če bom prej postavil, daj pa gre se dol?
Če ob eni se začne, ne?
Daj se gre dol.
Ja, 12.
No?
12.
No, te bo prijel.
A?
Te bo prijel.
Ah, se priješ, no, se noben veja.
Nima veze. Jaz sem se z njim pa s tem bil voljel že prepočasno. Sem se na uro.
Ja, jaz, ko sem šel pa z njim, s Pižovom, ko smo šli na
Avtocesti.
Ja, ko smo šli pa mi v Ajdovščino. A veš, na Padajatro. Smo šli pa... In to ne z BMW-jem, s Pižojem. Sem rajš njihov... Ja, kar, čez 130.
Čez 130. Ko sem ga pa jaz peljal iz Postojne, iz Pivke do Izole,
Ja.
sem vozil po 160.
S kim?
Kaj?
Kater?
V avtocesti.
Je njegov Pižov?
Kaj?
Njegov Pižov?
Ne, ne.
Pa to je na polovici.
To je zakon.
Pa se gre 240.
Pa ne gre.
240 gre si. Razen če bo kak.
Na polovici je bilo 320.
A?
Če bi to polovici je bilo pa 320.
Vem, minimum 240 gre sigurno.
Ja, piše gor, ja.
Do koliko je štel, do koliko je?
Piše gor, na številci ima 240.
A ja, ni več koliko, mislim, da je samo še elektronska. Da nimaš več kot številca. Mleko, ful dobro lekcija, mleko pomembno za vitalnost. Kako zgubljaš vitalnost z sex indulgence pa z anxiety? Anxiety ti vlastno.
Ja, treba sem sex indulgence, je lahko tudi sense gratification.
Plus je, no vse je.
Ni sam seks.
Ja, če neki težiš, ful si želja, tako da imaš ful željo.
Ja, uživati. Da hočeš čutno uživati. Vsakrat prije čutov ni nič dobrega. Čustva so solidna zadeva, čuti pa ne.
Kaj so čustva?
Solidna, ne? Koliko to?
Odvisno, če so pozitivne, ne?
Ja, če so.
Drugače pa sam, če pa sense, sem pa sam noče sleti, sam.
Mođas, obđašli.
Res to, domače mleko, domače
To je močna energija.
Jaz vidim, ko sem baka, takoj čutim imbalance, da nisem balans, ne. Koliko mi mlek pomaga, mlečni stroj. Pa gi, mene gi rešil, kad sem bil ranisa. Čeprav si malo čavi.
Ne želim pa pomasno več.
No, vse to je to. Če jaz tudi, no, skar je mlečnega, malo rano, mlečni riž, kjer, mislim, da ni. Prahladananda Swami je bil iz njegove krožnika. Zdaj je tako kruh. Mogoče še dobro.
A ten dal?
Mogoče...
Ne, že bo. Če drugega našega še mrtno treba.
Tako?
Ljudje, kaj če drugega našega mrtno treba.
Pa boš maha vodo. Nekaj sem mislil, da je Bhakti-joga Swami, ja, ker zelo sem pa zdaj videla še bolj vzema upravi. Ne, nekaj videla šukam okoli, da je on od vzorju zdaj pa ono, da nekaj papeški. Ja. Čak ona pa dan kava. Ne, ampak bolj, ne, bolj pa dan danes. Lep jabček, rdeč. Kjera sorta je to? Kjera sorta? Ne, tam imaš jabček na mizici.
A vem? Ne vem, kjera sorta. Nisem imel. Ti si se rekel, dobre.
Čaj, vem, kaj sem tu počakal, da boš mi povedal. Kaj ti viš, kjera sorta? A ne, se ni. Je uno. Tam je izgleda kaj jabček. To so slimani, kaj že to? Kako se ti mu reče? Riglo. Riglo, ja. Sam je velik. Imaš majhne?
Ja, to velik.
Ja, pa pa šice.
Mislim, da še en tretji ne obstaja.
Lahko sem pa sam pavi.
Ne vem, če imaš slučajnke umih, ste sladki se zdel, bom zelo hvaležen.
Ja, da. Dal so že šli. Sadnje pa. To je pa spun hita sadnje zmanjka, ne?
Ljubim si kupam, da sem nekaj tako za dalko delam in prav krizo, veš, tako to vse je na energijo.
Kilo.
Ja.
A ga štirke?
Ja. Mnogi.
Da, igraš. Noc.
Kaj?
Noc. Pa do sobote pa.
Na peto želim, ne znam.
Če bo vse posredi.
Ne, moram.
Je nam zamuda spet, če bo vse posredi.
Moram, veš. Peter zvečer, to slab, 7, pol 8, ali pa 8.
Pa vlak.
Ja.
Kdaj gre? Vlak.
Pa en gre pol 8, ali pa 8.
Skopra.
Ja.
Ko pa tam najboš? A že kolesom nekaj?
Ja.
Z ruzakom pa vse.
Ja. Veš,
To je kar trening.
jaz sem da nimam kitajnega akvarila, kitajnega zraka pobereš, virka.
Si dobro povedal, nekaj.
Čak naprej pijano.
Dobro, da nimam klavirja, ne?
Ja. Ali pa harke. Nikaj si bolj zelo. Ali pa je več, kakšna pisem, da tukaj si še kaj rekel, kaj to naprej. Kaj si rekel to na zadnje prijemstvo? Pogledaj, potem. Harpa je vertikalen klavir.
Ne? Ja.
Ja, pa je vertikalen klavir.
Mislim, da pianino imam pa tudi srednje.
Ja.
In tudi pol vertikalno klavir.
Ampak pianino je pa prišel, ne? To klavir ali ne?
Pianino je manjša izvedba klavirja, ne?
To samo tako svoj, ker sem izumel, ne? Kaj že rekel? Kaj bo prej klavirati?
Po mojega prejti klavir.
To sem pa to, ker so imeli težko za...
Veš, klari čimbra, kakšen je bil.
Spomnim se, ne? Glede imam ti bo.
Prišel telefon.
Piše telefon,
Ja?
ne?
A ja?
Telefon je začel, pa tako je stopil po nevnih napisano.
Čeprav da jih ne imamo, še ne moramo. Končem te gledam. Blago da tukaj. Še nekaj nikaj. Kaj je malo je zasnov, ne? zadeva, zdaj pa kar nekaj seskovno država, vse je to omenja.
Kako je prišli se zmeniti?
Bomo tu hodili.
Ja, tam počati na prvi prišli. A ja, veš kaj je? Tam bomo šli govoriti tudi zelo spustiti. Ja, sem špil, sem pa zgodovinska bomo dobro. Pa kaj bomo? Sprožno tako dobro. Ja, vse zdaj gledaj na to.
Minče dobro kaj barve? Naš barve, kaj se ti ne more delaš?
Delam pod skivijami. Pod skivijami delam. Ja, bi ne delam?
Ja.
Kam ti ga pa tam poživim?
Dobro, da bo še nam vedno.
Kje je tam?
Hare-krishna, hare-krishna,
Krishna. Kje je propovisto da prvo? Da.
To še nam može predstavljati. Veš?
Kako?
Ja, ali dobro.
Moramo pa vsaj pojmici.
Tisto, ki vam
Kaj? A Urkam že šel?
Evo, ma?
A Urkam že šel?
Ja, govorim v pisarni. V pisarni opet.
Zdaj bil tukaj.
Ja, evo, ko sem bil vila, nisem mogel da nekaj zakon. A bo vedel.
Imaš še ta razumeš?
Evo, škoda, samo ne, da imam dva doma. Sam jaz nisem sreden, da vem, da moram nekaj.
Gdje?
Popolnoma ne lično. Smo pa ne smo bi malo predal, in pa niso, če bo kdo dal. Je za ne lično nam izgleda. To jaz imam stavljeno na telefonu, smo bili dva, ne, je to pol, če daš tako. Samo moram najti.
Če si da ten... No. Drugite se do oknenstva.
A ti zdaj, ko si meni hotel podariti?
Ne. Nisem zrezeli, so tudi se.
Isto sam. Kitajci.
Ne, francos.
Pa dela se, kakšno je stanje?
Nekateri.
Velike te poznam. Kakšno je stanje?
Ne, ti ne da se čuti.
To mu pobliž, me ne zanima, kaj bo.
A ništa mišlja, boš ponec, pa boš tega vrežičnika.
A misliš, da mu dela? Ne vem, če ne.
Mišlja.
Kaj?
A ni šlo, a šlo?
Z njega si šli tukaj.
Ja, se telefon se zmočil, veš? Telefon se zmočil.
Ja, sam ta ni tak, se zmočil. Ma drug, matka te. Ta je drug.
Ne. On to sploh ne vezi mnogo.
Je pa vidim prav?
Ja, pa tudi to.
Ta je drug telefon.
A je tudi tvoj telefon?
Da, to smo reči. Zdaj bomo zakomplicirali življenje s tem. To je si sploh povedal.
To znaš mnogo.
Sonce.
Meni se to je, postav vrata prišel.
Tega ne znam. Tega ne znam.
Kaj še moraš pititi?
Ti se pa ruši pil. Da bi, kaj si. Da je bi, da je pa si. Tukaj je cilj. Ne, cilj. Cilj. Cilj je tak del kruga. Ne, to je cilj. Ne.
Ovo je telefon, kako še moraš.
Kaj?
Ovo je tako telefon.
Je kisko drugoga? Jaz sem ta piska, ne? Sam opet.
Ne.
A zjutraj to nisem pa.
Zdaj bi, ne? Kaj mi gre v tu?
Ja, bi, ja.
Se sem tega
bi,
ne?
Tako ne znam.
Iskon? Naročil?
Kaj?
Naročil?
A ja, tako sem. Tako je tega, ne?
Ovo je isto se plačilo. Ne ga je to druge. Se narobil. Ti pa vzemš telefon. Ti pa rekel, ti ne sneš kaj. To ti je pokarni.
Ja, seveda ne gleda, ko sem. Ne gleda.
Če bilo kaj reči?
Ja, plastik sem gleda.
Ti bilo kaj reči?
Ne. Bog mogu te pa tak delati, mi imate. Bog mogu te pa tako delati.